Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, and in today's episode, I have Emin Vali, who's the founder of Metafluence. Now, Metafluence is an influencer platform in the Metaverse. Emin Vali, who's the founder of Metafluence, has some really strong experience. He's worked with multinational companies such as Colgate, Palmolive, and quite a lot more in leading position. And his strong experience or core experience is in marketing. He also discussed his startup experience in influencer. Now, I must say that based on the interview, it does look like he's one of the OGs so far as influencer marketing is concerned. What stood out for me in this particular episode is when Emin said that it's not important for an influencer to have 100,000 or million followers. An influencer can literally have 100 followers as long as they are able to create the right content and have the connection with his followers. That is what is critical. Absolutely love that. In this episode, he also discussed the different stages of Metafluence. Currently, they have an alpha version beta test going on, and they are requesting people to give them feedback. So the approach that Emily is taking is a really hands-on approach. He definitely is eager to get feedback from its users. Absolutely brilliant stuff. In this episode, he also talked about how Metafluence currently has an Indian Silicon Valley district. If you're a business startup in India, you definitely need to check it out. And they also plan to have similar districts, let's say for Turkey, for UAE, Middle East, and quite a lot more. Now listen guys, I definitely do think that Metafluence is definitely taking the right steps. In this episode, he also talks about how Metafluence gives the ability for businesses to place advertisements and NFTs with multiple influencers. So please check out this episode. You'll definitely learn quite a lot of things from an influencer point of view, from a metaverse industry point of view, and get more insights about metaverse. And in the show notes below, you'll find all the details for Metafluence. And if you do want to connect with Emin, all the details are mentioned in the show notes below. So check this out, guys. So firstly, thank you so very much for doing this. Really appreciate you taking your time to share your knowledge about, Metafluence, which is an absolutely game changer in the metaverse industry. Can you tell our listeners, about yourself and how did you get involved in metaverse and blockchain journey?
Yeah, I'm of marketing origin. Well, first of all, George, thank you for inviting and giving me chance to share our project with with your audience. Yeah, I'm of marketing origin. I worked for international companies like Colgate, Palmolive, Danone, of course, in different geographies in leading marketing positions. And then I moved to entrepreneurship by launching my own marketing agency and serving the local clients mainly and bringing the experience from international marketing to local. But after some periods, I moved to startup and market we launched the Phase. It is actually an influencer marketing platform allowing brands to collaborate with influencers and vice versa. And while we were doing this, we were trying to crack the industry problem, influencer marketing industry problem. Was that there is a lot of friction between brands and influencers to collaborate, and solving each small frictions in between this collaboration was very hard. And we needed some products that will happen and come up only in digital and consumed in digital and created in digital. So actually that we were thinking about what can it be, and we were moving to e-commerce more, promoting to the digital apps, so that physical product consumption is becoming hard when influencer is promoting, and the performance evaluation of the influencers were very hard. So we when one of our advisors, Jet, he said that, guys, whatever you're thinking is you're talking about the metaverse. So go and research this topic. And it happened actually more than 1 year ago. So we started digging into, and we decided that when we say influencers, these are not only like TikTok celebrities or TikTok phenomena or celebrities. This basically everyone is an influencer. So in our
Absolutely.
concept, each person is an influencer once he recognizes his uniqueness and converts into the form of the content and shares with his friends. And so once people start engaging with him, he is becoming an influencer. Yeah, it can be not, maybe this person doesn't have millions of audience, only 100, but this 100 is important people. So we came up with the concept that each person is unique and personality. This is one thing is your personality. Another thing is how you express yourself. So you express yourself how you wear, you express yourself how you live, and how you communicate with people. So and we came up with the concept that we will create a city in the metaverse where there will be individual private residences belonging to influencers and brands. So brands are also influencers. So they are also influencing people to buy their products. So
absolutely,
we are all for us, all the people, active people in social media are potential influencers. So these private residences allow influencers to make private parties. This is also our secret sauce, we can say, up to 200 people, where the host can communicate with each of the guests, and guests can communicate with all the participants. Any single guest can connect with all the participants. So socialization is happening very sincerely. And we have been testing it in real life. We have been always doing influencer days with limited number of people, and it was always attracting people's attention. So we brought that concept to Metaverse, that influencers will make private parties, and these private parties will become very interesting, so that most of the influencers' audience migrate from social media to the Metaverse. So, and we should start with the small numbers, and build the system, then system will scale. So today's metaverse problem is the adoption traffic, and we are aiming to solve that. So through the influencers and through their individualized, let's call them mini metaverses, small,
personalized metaverse.
Yeah, customized, small, personal metaverse.
That is excellent. And I've just gone to your website, and you have a plethora of different influencers, ranging from actors and actresses, even Carl Moon, who's a famous YouTuber and absolutely massive team. So can you tell us a bit about the team behind Metaverse, Metafluence, in terms of how did that team go about? What are the challenges that you faced?
We have been working as a team more than 6 years in influencer marketing. So we have a network of influencers, micro and macro, mega. So there are different titles. So of more than 500,000. So we have been creating the model of automatization of the brand influencer relations and allowing brands to scale the influencer marketing. So instead of working with one influencer, brand can work with thousands of micro influencers, and selecting, campaign management, and all orchestration was done in real time by our team for different companies in the world. And at the same time, dev team, product team were automatizing all these processes coming up in the real time. So we know influencer marketing very well, we can say. We have been running thousands of influencer campaigns. And in that campaigns, we had already relations. We have gained relations with all the influencers that you saw. And but I can say that this is only the very, very early adopters. So these are the people who show interest in Metaverse. But we know that most of the people, including influencers, are not very close, familiar with the Metaverse trend. So, or are not going deep in the level that testing something. But that's what we are not in a hurry. We just launched our alpha version, and now we will make events with influencers, and there will be a lot of educational content around. And with your help, and with the people like you, with your helps, we will educate the people. Come to Metaverse, join the Metaverse. So everyone is talking about the Metaverse, but we are aiming at creating one. And we started one, and it is the first mover in the most of the countries, especially in the Middle East, and overall Eurasian region. So we are not in a hurry. We have a lot of influencers that in pipeline, but we are waiting for product alpha version move to the scalable version. Then we will go to celebrities and very wide range of influencers.
Yeah, and on your LinkedIn profile, when you mentioned about the alpha version, I also saw something unique about the Raj Kapoor district. So can you tell our listeners a bit about that? Because that is something absolutely massive, and I was really intrigued by that and definitely would like to know more about that.
Yeah, it's called not Raj Kapoor Street, actually. We call it Indian Silicon Valley, and our working name is like this. But the initiative was by Raj Kapoor. He's the head of the Indian Blockchain Alliance, and our close friend and advisor, helping us a lot. So he once we announced Raj's Meta Hut, his house in the Metaverse, and announced that we will have the first event. We got a lot of interest from the ecosystem, Indian-backed businesses who want to attend. And then Raj came with the idea that, can we make a special district for the most innovative Web3 companies of India? And he has a lot of network there. The Alliance has a lot of network there. We said, yes, why not? So we dedicated 94 land plots for this area. And immediately we got interest from other countries as well. So we made one region innovation hub, and there will be Indian, Arabic, Turkish.
Excellent.
And there will be common area where people can come together, co-work, exchange, and these are all experiments that we are doing, and it's attracting a lot of attention. So we see that people really want not to, play games as it is now, but socialize more, present more, sell more, earn more. So our concept is influence to earn, and we are building the core of our product is the socialization. So we are coming up with different model of socialization and different model of metrics and monetization of the creativity,
absolutely,
influence.
Influence, And in the alpha test, I also saw a post. I think his name is Ergi Sena, who I believe is a country manager from Nomu Pay.
Yes, Ergi.
Ergi,
yeah.
And that attracted a lot of massive news as well, because I saw a lot of people were, actually reading through that article as well. How would such a move benefit, let's say, businesses as well? So how can businesses, let's say, benefit by getting its Metafluence?
For businesses, we are solving the same problem of the metaverse for the brands. So adoption and traffic. So a lot of businesses, especially top brands, global brands, are investing in metaverse now and creating their own cities, own playgrounds. But if we watch the figures and attendance, we see that it's not in a very high level, and the engagement is not in a very high level. So, we open another dimension for this. First thing is that if brand will get chance to engage with people, not only his own private space, but the private space of different influencers. So you can be sponsor in one influencer's event. You can place your ads there. You can place your NFTs and whatever. And we give reach to brands and immediate reach. And for brand, we will have the two special tools, SaaS tool that we have for KeepFace. Now we are adapting to Metafluence. And brand will, without any person, with any intermediary, brand can place ads, make his marketing campaigns, and do it in a performance base. So give commissions from the sale. So all the brands are okay with that. So we are bringing affiliate model of collaboration, brand influencer collaboration to the metaverse. That's one of the business parts that most of the brands are very, very interested here. Again, we were waiting for the alpha version. Now we will actively talk to global brands and local brands, startups, and bringing them there. Another thing is that brand has his own community. This community is brands are having hard time creating the content for their community. So, we believe that bringing their audience, the most active innovators among the audience, to the metaverse, brand can position himself as an innovative brand and create a lot of content there and share and attract more early adopters coming and target the Gen Z and setting example for the rest and being the leader in the as in for with this innovation. So and becoming and we are a lot of brands who want to make the first step in metaverse, but they don't have big budget. Okay, so to buy a land in Sandbox. So and they're waiting. In our case, they can make a rent MetaHut, even not acquire it, and make a test event and feel it, create content, and if wants, then acquire a MetaHut, which is only $4,000. So own his own space and with all functionalities, start bringing his audience and enjoying our audience of our influencers. So a lot of models here. And one important thing that is not discussed actively now, but I believe it will be very important in the following years, is the brand tokens. And brand tokens will get value when there is a brand NFTs and other digital assets will be actively traded and the value will grow. So we know that this will come, and that's why we are working on the model that brands have increasing trade in our platform, and it will directly affect their brand tokens. And in the future, end user utility. So in the future, we will deeply work on these areas with the brands.
Yeah, and I have to say, the moment Metafluence was out, I have been checking your website, and there have been a lot of changes. And if you were to, and for the listeners, if you were to compare the experience, and let's say to Decentraland and the Sandbox, the Metafluence experience is 10x times better. And also for our listeners, if you were to just go through the influencer section, they have a plethora of different influencers. And one thing which you said is right, you don't necessarily have to have 1 million followers, but as long as you have the right connection with the audience, that is something critical. And what I wanted to ask, it is definitely Metafluence is a massive, massive company. And I'm looking at, your Telegram channel, your social media, it is absolutely massive. How do you guys manage that? And is there any advice that you'd like to share to other people? And because in terms of your Telegram profile, they're really active. And even the Discord channel is really active. Even Instagram is really active.
Actually, we will be much more active after the alpha launch. So you will see a lot of new content, original content, content that were created by users in the Metafluence. One of the interesting things that we started testing, I would advise all startups doing. So we have one general group where there are a lot of people, and more traders who followed, which we gained during the IDO stage. But once you launch your own product, you need not only traders, you need people who test, use, and give you feedback. So, and once you hear their feedbacks and really implement, they see the value here and they believe, and they become your ambassadors. So that's why we create special group. If you're not there, I suggest you to join. It's called First Movers Group. And we collect only the people who want to test the platform there. And moreover, we created First Mover 100 group. This is the first 100 people who will have the special badge all the lifetime of the Metafluence. And we will have a lot of privilege. So what we are doing, we are converting bringing people who are really interested in Metaverse, converting them to our ambassadors. They love Metafluence when they enter and they want to test and to offer them to come to the first mover group. And once they really enjoy, give us valuable feedback and share content, we move them to another very niche group where we talk to the people personally. We make friendship, we make Skype video calls. And that way, these people create this organic communications, chat, and this is happening sincerely. And that's what matters.
Yeah, and I definitely think, because what I do is I keep on researching metaverse-related companies, and I must say that Metafluence is definitely probably 5 or 6 or maybe 10 steps ahead of the competitors. You guys are definitely far ahead. I would just like to ask one general question. Let's say with reference to metaverse in general, based on your experience and your knowledge in marketing, which industries do you think will be most impacted by it?
According to McKinsey's report, the majority of the industry that will be affected will be education.
Okay,
and that's great. Actually, that's it means that people have the second motivation entering the metaverse. Currently, it is playing and earning. But second motivation, once it will be also getting education and getting some grades, and also another aspect is that metaverse is removing some badges actually in the life, nationalities, religion.
Correct,
so you can easily get education without any complexes in any person in the metaverse, presented with your avatar, and take part in work classes, get networking there. So I think education is the number one that will affect everyone. Yeah, this is the top thing that will be, and then all the industries will be somehow affected. E-commerce is one of the most important industries that will move there. And social networks. So
absolutely,
I believe that we are actually pretending to that role, that there will be new era social networks, new era of once there is a new era of socialization, there will be new era of social content, and which we are actually witnessing this. So all aspects of the lives will be changing. Also, government and public service part, I think, is very important. And to UAE, Dubai government is paying a lot of attention. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia also paying a lot of attention. So Korea, South Korea,
absolutely,
paying a lot of attention. So public service and government control, government. Government social activities, so whatever you can call there. That's medical part is important. Medical part is also talking a lot. So
and with reference to medical part, I was just reading an article today. So they have a pill, so that will actually go inside your body, and the doctor over time will be able to use, let's say, virtual reality and augmented reality. They will be able to go through the entire body. So the futures and the possibilities are absolutely endless. Tricky question is, based on your experience, let's say maybe a decade or 2 decades from now, do you think the metaverse industry will be bigger than the real industry? What do you think on that?
I don't see a strict line between the metaverse industry and the real industry. Actually, this is one thing. This is the real industry, and metaverse is just is a set of different trends working together, the different technologies working together in a synchronized way. So there is not a strict line between this. And actually, metaverse projects who are related to the real world are getting more will get more successful, I believe. And so we will just be presented in internet in 3D format, adding their blockchain, adding their more immersive experiences and adding their new economies coming from blockchain, NFTs, and the collectibles and its economy, adding their brand tokens. So once brands will enter the metaverse with their advertising budgets, I work for international brands. They have huge advertising budget, mostly very funny, but mostly spent to the mass media. Now, while we are talking metaverse, they are moving to the digital, but there will come the time when they will move from classical digital to the metaverse. So once advertising budgets will come, I think it will be a huge, huge industry.
What were some of the challenges that you faced, let's say, when you were starting the idea, or currently facing any challenges that you would want to share?
A lot of challenges. The first challenge was the funding, as for all startups. We could manage that with right strategy and bringing right people on advising board. And
absolutely,
we solved that. And another challenge occurred when we decided with the team. Yes, we have core team, but we are entering the new dimension for our businesses: VR, gamification, gaming. These were not our competence before, honestly. But we hired the right people to the team. We decided to work on Unreal Engine, and for maximum hyper realistic experiences. And this is one of our core benefits in compared with the most of the metaverse platforms. So, but Unreal Engine is a very new technology. Not many people who are there who are easy to recruit, and they're good. So let me put it simply this way. So we put the right team and came up with the alpha version in only 6 months. So and you can imagine how many challenges we faced with in this period. Main things were funding and then team, which is the most important. We did both right and made important good decisions.
Absolutely. And for the listeners, it's worthwhile looking at the advisory board. They have some real heavy duty giants, from people like, from C# Finance, and a lot of heavy duty investors backing this project. And once again, I do think that Metafluence is definitely ahead of their competitors, maybe by a couple of years in the metaverse industry, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners about Metafluence in terms of, what is it that they need to look forward for, any particular events or something that you'd like to share to them?
I would like to just recommend enter our metaverse and test it. So for the all people listening us, and also we are very hungry for the feedbacks, and you will feel more what I am telling now, that we believe social aspect of the metaverse is the most important aspect, rather than gaming, earning, and other aspects. And we are deeply focusing there. And one interesting thing that we witnessed, being socializing in your 3D identity as avatar, is completely different than socializing in real life. So
absolutely,
and it is more interesting, and it is giving a lot of flexibility. It removes a lot of titles, complexes, and and you can socialize a lot. And that's what I would ask people to pay attention and to research, and if there are any insights, share with us that what is this new dimension of socialization will bear a lot of new economies and new opportunities and new lifestyle. So people are talking about weddings in metaverse, or most funny was the funerals in the
absolutely. Heard about that as well.
So we are now making this party process in metaverse events, private events, and some people will do different things. So but the core is the socialization, And I would ask people to direct attention there.
And for our listeners, who are in Dubai, I mean, this is a project which you definitely need to pay a lot of attention to, because there is a lot of socialization. There are so many influencers in Dubai, especially after the post-COVID situation. And also, if you want to go through the website, if you go through the website under the maps section, you will see that, the lands that are already reserved, the lands that are already sold. So definitely make sure that you take opportunity of it. And I have two other questions. And one question is not related to Metaverse or Metafluence. So in terms of the music genre, what music genre does Emin like? And
sorry, about you asked about the music?
Yeah, just not Metaverse related. Personally, what kind of music that you personally like?
I personally like. So the last times I listen to ethno tech.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started listening Turkish ones.
Excellent.
And I started enjoying. Before, I was enjoying some soft rock. So there I am. I'm not much related to music, honestly, but these were I listen when I am alone in the car.
Absolutely. And with reference to Dubai Metaverse strategy, which is coming up, I definitely think that Metafluence will play a massive role, not just in the Metaverse community, but also in Dubai achieving the goal of being the number one in the city, the top 10 city in the world. And there's another media post which is put out by Dubai government, where it wants Dubai to be the world leader in Web3.
Yes.
And I do think, of your influence in that thing will play an absolutely massive role. So one final question is, do you have any advice, let's say, to other businesses, maybe even competitors of yours? What advice would you like to give them? I mean,
I would advise our businesses mostly, not competitors, but I can advise startups who want to enter this space.
Absolutely, yeah, that is great. Yeah,
about the companies overall, I think companies should start making first steps, small steps in the metaverse, just for understanding. You never learn once you don't experience. So you have to get into, do something, attend, organize events, talk people, understand how it's happening. So, and then roll out to the team level, then roll out to the consumer level. So, the internal metaverse transition period is very important. So even if CEO wants to be in metaverse and Web3, but the team prefers the classical business, it will not go much. So the company leaders should first persuade on top management first, then middle level management, that this is something new, there are a lot of opportunities, let's start learning, let's start making, etc. So this is first thing, make the first step. Don't wait much. Don't wait once it becomes massive, start now and you will see the opportunities. So this is the first thing. About the startups, I would suggest to work more on not creating the worlds, because there are a lot of worlds being created now, but more on interoperability side. So coming up with the tools that will serve these metaverses, and this metaverse
across all different metaverse platforms.
Yes. So I think that would be one of the advices, that if you have a world idea, just challenge it and try to coming up with something in this area. Yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant idea. And the final question is, in terms of how can listeners get in touch with you or get in touch with Metafluence? Is there any particular portal or an email or website that you'd like to share?
You can enter our metafluence.com and there are all social links there. And we are very active there. I'm personally participating in chats in Telegram. And you can find me there, write to me, and best way would be also LinkedIn. My name is Emin Vali there. You can
Perfect.
find me, and I'm usually responsive.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is for the listeners, in the show notes below, I'll mention the website, I'll put the Telegram channel,
Yeah, great.
I'll also put the Reddit profile, which I think is brilliant. You have 12,000 active members on Reddit, and even on Instagram, you have quite a lot of Ask Me Anything sessions. So I'll post that links as well, and I'll definitely post the LinkedIn profile as well.
Thank you.
Thank you really very much. I mean, definitely looking forward to, talking to you in the future again. Definitely
Thank
a
you for
brilliant
inviting
conversation.
me. It was a very, very interesting conversation and very fruitful.